is different than the kind of acts of imagination that go with fiction, because history actually happened.
So much has happened. So much
We
has shaped.
rode in on a horse that we didn't create. We ought to know something about that horse, and the horses before it, and before it, and before it.
Well, come on, what are we waiting for?
If we look at the times we're living in, the graph goes boom, like this, in terms of every measure of material prosperity, longevity, health, etc. But we don't know that if we don't know what things were like before.
We live amid the greatest abundance
up
of
to us
information.
to enjoy life to the fullest and to make it count.
There's a tendency to think we can decide questions of principle by reference only to abstractions. History is concrete. History fills in the blanks with real world events and real people, things that actually happened. And we can test out our principles by seeing how they operate in history.
Good history will be an accurate picture of what happened in the past, with a sympathy for the people so that one can learn from them. It gives us a fixity that is made up of things that at the time were constantly shifting and hard to estimate.
It is possible, of course.
Of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
I think U.S. history is a really extraordinary moment in the history of the world. The story of this country is one of the most interesting, exciting, compelling stories that you could tell about human life on this planet. Returning to our history and seeing why things happened the way they did can give us some insight that we might not otherwise have.
World War.
The study of history expands you. You learn to empathize with very different ways of living in the past. I think that's fun. I'd put it up against anything. I'm Wilfred McClay, Professor of History and Letters. This is our course in American history.
And determination.
Let's begin.